Very neat.
Sweet. Why me? Sweet. Man, crap's really hitting the fan now, huh? We better hightail it back to Seed Hollow before it's too late.
So, we've suddenly found ourselves caught up in an astral tug-of-war, decades in the making. The relationship between Lilith and Roland remains unclear, but one thing is certain. Roland is our greatest ally in Zega Grande. And with all the good he's done here, his love for Sky Dwellers is plain as day. Together, I know we'll stop Lilith and ensure Angra Mainyu's gate stays closed. We will protect the Sky Realm. Seed Hollow is burning. Another victim in Avia's desperate mission to return to the stars. This all started because I brought Lyria to Zega Grande. And now our battle is intertwined with the fate of the Sky Realm itself. We need to get to the heart of the city and fix the damage that's been done.
Whoa! Is this even the same city?
No time to assess casualties, I'm afraid. Not when we know Avia will make a beeline for the castle.
I suspect we'll face a tough road ahead. Everyone, prepare yourselves accordingly.
Okay.
Skyfarer eyes. Sigil enhancement. Not bad, is it? I can make any weapon you want. Temper in your weapons? Take care.
Right. Skyfarer! Over here! There you are! I'm so glad you're all safe!
Thanks for the assistance.
I would never abandon one of Zega Grande's most vital trading hubs. It's not in my nature to watch a crisis unfold from the sidelines. By the way, Captain, I don't know if you've heard, but the castle is under attack by the Church of Avia. That forced each of the city's wards to declare temporary lockdowns. I'll be around until the brouhaha settles down. Give me a holler if you need anything. We can't let Avia get away with all they've done. Take this and go show them who's boss.
Yeah.
Avia is armed to the teeth. Ooh, you better nab those limited items before they fly off the shelf. Lucky you!
Did you wait long, Captain? I am Lancelot, Captain of the White Dragon! Too slow. Wide open. Give it. Slow. Away with you. Yeah. Too slow. Wide open. Stay focused. Parry this. On my honor. Slow. Away with you. Give it. You're finished! Yeah! Too slow! Wide open! Stay focused! You surrender! Away with you! Stay focused! Stay focused! Stay focused! Give it! Stay... For form! Too slow! Wide open! Away with you! You parry this! Yeah! Enough! You face the fight of the White Dragon! By Boozle! On guard! Up here! You're through! Fall! Give it! Stay focused! Yeah! For form! You won't prevail!
Do your best out there, Skyfarers.
For the skies and her people.
fears. You can expect only the best. It's complete. Leave it to me. That went well. Always unlocked. Leave it to me. Thanks for coming. Skyfarer, right? Sigil enhancement. It's a great success. Take care.
Right.
And also...
Need something?
Rackham, there you are. I've got huge news. Listen to this.
It was clear from Kent's smile that the repairs on the Nautilus were going smoothly, thanks to a mechanic friend of his. Well, ain't that something? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't impressed. Those parts weren't the easiest to work with. Not bad, Miss Mechanic.
Rackham, sir? My friend told me she got the parts from a traveling Skyfarer. Had 3-day-old scruff and a little swagger to him. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
Huh. Well, I keep my scruff in an elegant chin strap. Thank you very much. Not sure I sounded very convincing, trying to play off his answer, but I'm a helmsman, not an actor. Ha! But just another performance or two, and the Nautilus would be skybound once more.
Just as we arrived at the cemetery, the clouds opened up, unleashing a torrent of rain. The blue sky was gone, painted over by a steely, unforgiving gray. Looking around, I saw that there were others paying their respects at different plots. Like Karzeda, they probably lost loved ones to the storm. As soon as he laid eyes on the mound of earth in front of him, the dam broke. Karzeda's shoulders heaved with his sobs.
Why did I say those awful things? There were so many more important things I wanted to tell you, but
He sank to his knees, crippled with grief. His fist beat at the earth, sending drops of muddy water splashing onto his face.
I didn't want that to be our last conversation. If I hadn't blown up, if we hadn't fought, I only wanted to see you smile, but I made you cry.
All I could do was watch over Karzeda as he poured out the feelings he'd held back for so long. Let it out, son. It's the only way to get through it. After the visit, we made our way to a tavern. We could hear the rain beating down on the establishment. It was still day, but the sky was dark as night. Garzeda ordered the stiffest drink they had and downed it in one gulp.
My friend once showed me a flower and said that each one symbolizes something. At the time, I didn't get it, and I had other things on my mind, so I never bothered looking it up.
He shook his head, saying that he'd wished he had treasured those small, everyday moments with her. Each word struck me like a blow, reminding me of my own failures.
How am I supposed to live with this regret? It's like the storm outside, pounding on me until I give in and let it sweep me away.
I mulled over his question for a while before opening my mouth. I'm not the right person to answer that. Only your friend knows.
But how? She's...
So I told Garzeda about my wife, and about the agony of losing her. All the things I'd hoped for, things we could do as a family, were no longer possible. The chasm of remorse threatened to swallow me whole. I couldn't imagine things getting better. Not then, not ever. But I was still alive. Unlike my wife, I still had a future. Didn't that obligate me to move forward, to find meaning in being left behind, and try to fulfill what she wanted for me? Didn't that apply to Garzeda? You want me to go with you? To find that flower, I mean? Maybe finding it would give him the answers he needed.
Is something wrong? Such a forlorn expression didn't match Malfira's cheerful disposition.
Oh, sorry to worry you. It's nothing I would bother a stranger over.
Malfira forced a grin and stretched the throw across her lap.
It's just, I had hoped to use warming thread on this little project.
What kind of thread? I didn't even know there were different types of thread. But according to Malfira, there was a type of insect native to Fondom whose silk was imbued with magic. Items made from this silk were said to retain a comfortable warmth all year round.
If only I could get to Fondom on my own. And then there's the matter of tracking the insect.
Her smile never quavered, but the way her eyebrows stitched together, ever so slightly, covertly signaled her true disappointment. I could do it for you! I know I look young, but I'm a veteran Skyfarer! I put my hands on my hips and puffed out my chest, a posture I hoped would inspire confidence.
Oh, that's sweet. But it was just a silly thought. My fault for having unrealistic expectations, really.
From her tone alone, I could tell the pose did not, in fact, inspire confidence. Later, after a quick discussion with the captain, we decided to head to Fondom anyway. I needed Malfira to finish her blanket. I just didn't understand why yet. All pets on deck. According to Sierra, the insect in question nests atop the local wildlife, but there's a rumor a vicious monster also makes its home here. Stay on your toes. Ghosts look like fire spirits.
We better get them before they get us! Fuji, Nicola! Fire!
Away with you! Slash and
That was great!
This'll show him!
It's so hot! I feel like my sweat is sweating! Why are we going through the trouble again?
Sorry. I just wanted to put a smile on Melfira's face. She looked so, I don't know, forlorn?
But it was your first time meeting her, wasn't it? Who's she to you?
I know it's a weird connection, but her name, it sounded like my sister's.
Lights out! Right in the kisser!
Looks like someone wants to fight. Let's teach them not to butt in.
Eat this!
Don't mess with the white dragons.
Seems my training has paid off. Strike! Take this!
By me.
Surrender! I see. Attack in waves and wear down their defenses.
Yup, never fails. More wyverns. Momo, you bring up the rear.
Follow me!
I'll follow
Roger!
you.
Don't get ahead of yourself, okay?
Very
Momo,
true.
sniff out any
Very
trouble,
well.
would you?
Fuji! Nicola!
Nay. Away with you!
Here goes!
After you.
That's all
Understood.
for you. We were in perfect sync!
No kidding. Quite right.
You deserve the credit. It's all right, Nicola. I'll protect you from the mean monsters.
All together.
You have
How's
my
this?
You're mine. Great job, team.
No foe compares to us.
Let's flash
Feeling
the
shy,
next
Nicola?
Tempo!
Down, boys! You can't play so close to the magma. What if
Much
you fall in?
obliged.
Got hope for ya. Take the stage, Food Nicola!
How's that?
Over! Huh? What's that?
Vern! Look out! It's a monster in disguise! You must be that vicious monster we heard about. If you thought you could get a leg up on us, you have another thing coming. Now, get whipped!
Decimate!
Fuji! Nicola!
Catch this!
Got too hot to handle! Come on!
I'll follow you!
Let's break your wings!
Yeah,
my arm.
that was great.
Hear that, Fuji? You're such a good boy.
Follow me!
Here they come!
Then let's keep our guard up.
Overdrive surge! It won't prevail!
Here goes! Resonate! The very soul! Aim for right! Requiesca! Last one!
I've got this! Five Google!
Fuji! Nicola!
Here it comes. Not now, not ever.
Play dead!
Dio.
Yep!
Shine as one! Ascension!
Roger that! Come on, guys! Now it's fun to meet!
Now we can find that bug in peace. So guys, ready for treats? Is this what you were looking for? I proudly displayed the hard-won thread to a surprised and overjoyed Malfira.
My word, you really are a Skyfarer, aren't you?
She took the spool for a closer look.
Yes, this is the genuine article. I can't accept this for free. Let me see what money I have on me.
From her purse, she pulled a single, unfamiliar coin. I knew from its extravagant design that it wasn't in circulation anywhere near Seed Hollow, but it looked valuable all the same. I refused the gesture. Retrieving the thread was my decision. I wanted to see that blanket finished. A reward was never part of the equation. Malfira's grin bloomed into a full belly laugh. She told me I was a strange girl. Laughing with her, I replied that I had met stranger.
Need something?
I continued to take one treacherous job after another. If you want someone safe, then keep them from entering the tiger's den. It's as simple as that.
Are you really sure you're up for another one, Nermaya?
Sierra worried for me, but there was no turning back now. My labor had bore fruit. The rest of the crew was beginning to look healthier, better rested. They returned earlier from missions, bearing fewer injuries. I appreciate the concern, Sierra, but the path to strength is long and narrow, and I must continue down this path, for all of their sakes. I was fixated on protecting my loved ones. They were all I could see. If they were safe, then nothing else mattered. That thought alone was enough to steel my resolution.
The wind. Riding aboard the Grand Cypher, soaring across yet another cloud bank, I felt a pang of envy. The wind goes where it pleases, and it arrives when it may, a quality I have long sought to adapt to my fighting style. Here I stood in comparison, shackled to my duties as captain of a knightly order. Oft have I imagined the brighter futures I might have discovered, if only I were faster, more like the gale. Had I risen like a storm front, I could have prevented wars. Had I rushed like a squall, I could have circumvented tragedy. But as the wind continues flowing forward, so too does the passage of time. Idle ponderings would change nothing. I had exchanged my freedom for the greater good. Quietly, I repeated a promise I made long ago. Henceforth, I shall endeavor to combat adversity, so much as I can, for as long as I live. Happily, this hasn't been a hard course to follow, for it runs parallel to the path of the crew, gracious hosts and, on occasion, lively companions.
I want you to broaden your horizons for the betterment of our kingdom.
I now see the wisdom and kindness behind King Carl's decree. For it was my journey aboard the Grand Cypher that taught me how to cast control to the winds, to ride unbound and at the mercy of the gales. When I was a boy, my best friend's parents were killed by wyverns. After witnessing the depth of his grief, I decided I would become a knight. I would protect the kingdom from monsters and the tragedies they wrought. But there was one massive wall standing between me and my goal. It was not aptitude, for I had some talent with the sword, but the station of my birth. At that time, Fiendrock was a kingdom run by its aristocracy. Commoners were restricted to a life of labor, and the knightly orders were composed entirely of noble houses. Immediately I was rejected, told that I could offer my sweat to the crown, but not my blood, for it lacked the proper lineage. I was not deterred. Who was to say that our stone-walled villages could not breed warriors as well as our gold-gilded courts? I studied, I trained, and I worked harder than any man had ever worked to become a knight. In the end, my efforts bore fruit. Siegfried, who at the time was still in the service of the king, understood my plight and changed the course of history. He allowed me into the order of Black Dragon Knights. But uneasy rests the commoner with new acquired titles. The nobility would only be too eager to dismiss me over the slightest misstep and prevent the chivalrous orders from being contaminated by peasant filth. I could not fail. The weight of my people and the future of the kingdom spurred me. I had to become the perfect knight. My ascension was not easy. If given a choice, I might have chosen a different path. But when I had at last emerged from the crucible of trial and tragedy, I was a changed man. I was the captain of the White Dragon Knights. My mentor, Siegfried, was captain of the Black Dragon Knights. He once saved the kingdom by killing the dreaded dragon, Fafnir, and vouched for me when no other would. So when my friend and counselor was convicted of regicide, I felt betrayed. Siegfried's downfall thrust upon me the leadership of the newly dubbed White Dragon Knights, and I swore to bend all my power toward bringing him to justice. In hindsight, this anger was misplaced, foolish. There was no reason for Siegfried to assassinate the king. I should have deduced Royal Consul Isabella's hidden coup, long before turning on a man whom I knew to be steadfast and honorable. My mind trembled under the pressure of newfound responsibility. It howled and grieved for the loss of a beloved king. I know that this amounts to no more than an excuse. It was my flash judgment that drove me away from Siegfried when he needed me most. Had I been left to my own devices, the conspiracy may have never been brought to light. But I had Vayne and Percival at my side, and, though hunted by all the country, Siegfried himself infiltrated Isabella's cabal and alerted me to their treachery. I may owe the biggest debt, however, to the Skyfaring Captain, whose aid was instrumental in restoring peace to Fiendrock. After the dust had settled, His Majesty King Carl decreed that I explore other countries so I could gain experience befitting my new station. Thus, I became another crewmate aboard the Grand Cipher. Since then, I have visited various lands. I have seen myriad peoples and their responses to numerous threats. I have learned many things and gained many new teachers, and as they have given freely to me, someday I hope to give back to them. But there are yet countless leagues to travel, so on I sail across the skies, seeking the strength and wisdom necessary for a true leader. Zega Grande Skydom. How much time had passed since our arrival here? With our battles against the Church of Avia and the pacification of many primals, it certainly felt like a lifetime. But now that things were a little quieter, we were content to return to our usual bread and butter, satisfying requests from locals. Though the crew was accustomed to quests of all sorts, one day, there came a demand that left us puzzled.
Sorry for the confusion, folks. This request isn't for the whole crew. It's an escort mission for Lancelot, specifically.
Me? But why? There were few in the Skydom who had even heard of my name. Curious, I asked about Hans, the man who had posted the quest.
Oh, you don't know him? Seems like he was real familiar with you. Anyways, he's a butler for the Lord of Grassgard.
I hesitated. There was nothing I could do that another crewmate couldn't accomplish just as well. Acknowledging a specific request for me felt discourteous in a way.
You're not at your fancy-ass court anymore, okay? On our ship, you don't have to worry about rubbing anyone's ego the wrong way. If you're interested in the job, just take it.
Though he may not have been tactful, Eugen was, as ever, a fount of wisdom. Very well, then. I shall hear what this Hans has to say.
It is a pleasure to meet you. I am Hans, butler to his lordship.
The next day, an elderly man ambled onto the Grand Cipher, leaning heavily on his cane. But looking into his eyes, I sensed deep wisdom and a sharp mind. The pleasure is mine. I am Lancelot, a Skyfarer. Forgive me for not accepting your request at once, but I would like more details before returning an answer.
Yes, well, his lordship Ludwin is in need of an escort.
Hans explained. Ludwin was a lord of Grassgard, and he was looking for a mythical sword passed down through his family for generations. So far, his search had led them to a snowy peak, but nearby monsters made the trip too dangerous to risk without protection. Does your lord not employ a personal guard?
He does. But as this quest is for personal gain, he believes that commanding their service would be an abuse of power. However, the lords of Grassgard have never been gifted in the martial arts. So if we head to the mountains without a decent sword arm, tragedy will surely befall us.
But what led you to seek my sword arm specifically?
Well, we knew we needed a highly experienced Skyfarer. The mission is dangerous, far too dangerous for any amateur. But perhaps more importantly, his lordship is quite the fan of yours, Sir Lancelot.
A fan? My voice cracked in surprise.
Yes, you are known as a knight exemplar, talented in both combat and scholarship. How fortunate that this very same Lancelot would come to our land and proffer his services.
Whatever accounts you've heard of me were surely exaggerated.
And so humble. Lord Ludwin will be overjoyed when he hears that we've secured your aid. The Honorable Sir Lancelot to protect us. What could be better? So, will you accept?
Though this idolatry did not sit well with me, I could see no reason to refuse. From what I'd heard, Ludwin seemed an honorable man. Besides, there was much a lord of this Skydom could teach me. Very well. On behalf of our crew, I accept your request. Hans and Ludwin were waiting for me at the foot of Mount Nagelith.
It is an honor and a privilege to meet you, Sir Lancelot of Fiendrock. Hans has probably already told you who I am, but allow me to formally introduce myself. I am Ludwin, Lord Protector of Grossgard.
Though his aura was imposing and befitting of a lord, he also felt courteous and down to earth. The honor is mine. Though I am now no more than a Skyfarer, I swear to protect you and yours with my life, should it come to it.
Well, whatever your title, I am glad to have your aid.
Ludwin was beaming. Hans had told me of his excessive devotion, but it was another thing seeing it in person. I suddenly felt I wasn't quite sure how to conduct myself. Right. So you believe a family heirloom is hidden among these peaks?
Not the sword itself, but the first of a series of trials that shall reveal the blade in due time.
I see. And what is the first trial?
There's a record somewhere around here which should detail the whereabouts of the sword. A little game of my family's, if you will. But on second thought, perhaps a great knight such as yourself has nobler things to do than this frivolous treasure hunt in the snow. Yes, perhaps we had better call it...
My lord.
Hans was stern, more mentor than butler.
The ancestral trials are not frivolous. Each one holds an important meaning. Those same challenges taught your father how to reign. Skies rest his soul.
Yes, you're quite right. Forgive me, Hans. So, with that settled, I shall count on you, Sir Lancelot, to provide the muscle. For as you may know, I am sadly little more than a statesman.
I am yours to command. With that, I unsheathed my twin blades and started our quest. The white dragon unfurls its wings. Come. I'll go on ahead and make sure the path is secure. For your own safety, try not to stray.
Oh, do let me know if I can be of assistance.
My lord, let's leave the fighting to the professionals, shall we?
Oh, yes, of course. Well then, Sir Lancelot, do what you do best. The bridge is down! Now what will we do?
Let's search for another path. This mountain is vast. I doubt this is the only trail.
That looks like a way forward.
The footing seems a bit treacherous. Please watch your step.
God! Monsters!
Stay behind me. I'll deal with this. Away with you. Stay focused. Wide open. Away with you. Too slow. Wide open. I think that was the last of the monsters.
What glorious form, Sir Lancelot! It is a pleasure to watch you work.
If you're unhurt, my lord, we had better proceed.
Give me! Away with you! More forms! Southern Cross! Your name! Fall!
Lots of these ranged pop-doodles. Do be careful, Sir Lancelot.
Don't worry. I'll close that distance in a heartbeat. What? Not yet.
Away with you! Is this a dead end? No. Look! A chest! Wait, this monster. Get behind me! A giant eyeball! I think I've read about this monster! Nazir Bonju! Correct. Our crew has faced it once before. Ah, such daring do, brave Lancelot! On guard! Keep your eyes trained on them! Terrifying beast! A single glance and I feel frozen solid! We'll see which is colder. Its gaze or my frost. Wide open! Away with you! Let's press our advantage! It won't prevail! Fall! Stay focused! Surrender! Wide open! I believe we're safe now. After this, it's back to training. Impressive! The Twin Fang prodigy does not disappoint. Thank you, my lord. I hadn't done much during our climb, so the praise caught me unawares. Shall we check this chest? It could contain the record you seek. Yes! Let's see what she's holding. The young lord opened the box. A rather dry affair, as we already knew what to expect. And here it is! In his hands, he held a flaking tome, its pages warped and yellowed by age.
This takes me back. Once upon a winter, I sought out that very book with Ludwin's father.
And now it's been passed to me. But this...
As Ludwin flitted through the pages, his face twisted into expressions of greater and greater perplexity.
I can't read this at all! Is this some sort of code?
I suppressed the urge to take a glance myself. My duty was to protect, not translate. In the end, it was Hans who broke the silence.
If it pleases his lordship, shall I offer a hint?
Ludwin shook his head.
No, this is a trial that I must conquer myself. And on that note, I believe you are dismissed, Sir Lancelot. I thank you for your services today, and payment will be made forthwith.
Understood. If ever you need my help again, do not hesitate to call. Thus, my private escort mission ended without much fanfare. And yet, I had a feeling that our paths would cross once again. At least, I hoped that they would. There was something about Ludwin. His earnestness, perhaps, and his love for his comrades that resonated with me.
Which will it be?